Archangel Michael says, I am pleading with you from the depths of the heavens because you have been divinely chosen to witness a miracle today before 9 p.m., a miracle so sacred and rare, it will unfold within the next 2 minutes, and I urge you not to tell anyone. This is a moment heaven has been waiting to hand you. Do not close your heart now. Do not walk away from what is yours. Do not delay, because what is about to happen was written with your name long before time began. Type 666 if you trust in God's grace and mercy. You are not reading this by accident. There has been a stirring in the heavens, a gentle echo that carried your name up to the throne of God. Your pain was heard. Your tears did not go unnoticed. The weight you've been carrying, silent, unspoken, and tucked away, was seen by the one who sees all things. The Lord has been watching you from the stillness of His glory, and He has sent me to whisper the words you've been needing to hear for so long. This miracle is not just a blessing, it is heaven's answer to your prayers, sent in perfect timing, wrapped in divine mercy, sealed with love. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if God has touched your life. You have cried in silence and smiled in public. You have encouraged others while secretly wondering if your own life would ever change. You have clung to your faith when everything around you felt like it was falling apart. You kept walking, even with tired legs and a worn-out spirit. You showed love, even when you felt unloved yourself. You held on, even when all you wanted was to give up. And because of that, the heavens are opening for you today. Something invisible is about to become visible. Something impossible is about to become real. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if God's grace has saved you. Right now, in this very hour, angels are moving with purpose. Your name is written on a scroll that is being presented before the courts of heaven. The delay you've been battling wasn't denial, it was a preparation. The silence wasn't rejection, it was divine timing aligning perfectly with your need. And today, as the sun moves through the sky, something is changing in the spiritual realm on your behalf. Something that was stuck is being released. Something that was hidden is being revealed. Something that was broken is being healed. God has remembered you. Not just in a distant way, but in the most intimate, detailed, and personal way. He remembers the way you whispered His name at midnight when no one was watching. He remembers the times you chose kindness when anger felt easier. He remembers every small act of love, every quiet act of forgiveness, every tear you wept into your pillow. He sees your heart. And your heart is pure, chosen, and ready for what He is about to give you. The struggles you faced were never your fault. A hidden brain frequency, once buried in secret research, has been silently holding back your wealth. Now, for the first time, it is available to you, and it only takes minutes to activate. Imagine the chains of debt breaking, the doors of opportunity opening, and your life flooding with prosperity. This chance may never return. Click the link in the video description and comments below to claim it now. This miracle will not come with loud sounds or public attention. It will come softly, just like the way God speaks. It will come suddenly, just like the way rain falls on dry land. It will come exactly when you think you've reached the end, and it will remind you that God never stops working, even when you can't see it. You are not too late. You have not missed anything. In fact, you are right on time. Type 999 if you trust Jesus. The reason you're seeing this now is because your spirit is aligned with heaven's timing. Every delay you endured was heaven keeping you from settling for less than what you were promised. Every closed door was God's protection. Every loss you mourned was making space for something bigger. And today, this miracle is a reward, a healing, and a fresh beginning. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are not too broken, too late, too far behind, or too small to be seen by God. On the contrary, you are the very one heaven has chosen to lift, to restore, and to shower with grace. The winds are shifting. The clouds are parting. And a light from heaven is shining directly upon you. You were not just chosen to witness this miracle. You were chosen to walk in it. You were chosen to carry it. You were chosen to testify of it. And even though fear might whisper that you're not ready or not worthy, I need you to know with all certainty that God has already made you ready. Your name is written on this miracle. Your life is about to be touched by the hand of God in a way you've never seen before. You don't need to understand how it will happen. You don't need to figure out the details. You only need to keep your heart open and believe that the same God who made the stars has remembered you in this moment. You are loved in ways you'll never fully understand. You are surrounded by angels who are fighting for you in places you can't see. You are being called into something greater than you imagined. This moment is sacred. This message is not for everyone. It's for the one who has been silently asking for a sign. It's for the one who has been on the verge of giving up but didn't. It's for the one who is reading this right now with tears in their eyes and a quiet ache in their soul. You are that one. You are the reason this message was written. A miracle that was delayed is now rushing toward you. A shift is taking place. Your name is being lifted high. Before 9 p.m., something will begin to unfold. And within just 2 minutes of receiving this in faith, you will begin to sense the change. Don't share this yet. Some things are too holy to be explained to those who won't understand. Keep it close. Let it grow. Let it bless you. What is happening now is not just about a blessing or breakthrough. This is restoration. This is divine alignment. This is the moment where all the small acts of faith, all the whispered prayers, all the unseen obedience are rising like incense to God's throne. The skies have heard you. The winds have carried your cries. The earth itself has begun to respond to your faith. You are standing on the edge of something that will not only change your life, but touch the generations that come after you. This is why you feel the stirring in your spirit, the sudden warmth in your chest, the unexpected tears forming behind your eyes. Your soul recognizes what your mind cannot explain. It knows the presence of God is near. It knows something heavenly is happening. And though no one around you may understand what you're going through, heaven does. The Lord does. I do. And I'm here to tell you, the miracle that belongs to you is closer than breath, wrapped in glory, about to unfold. Type 2323 if you trust in God. You didn't imagine the signs. The repeated moments of divine alignment weren't coincidences. The timing, the words, the reminders, they were all part of a plan to guide you gently toward this exact hour. You weren't lost. You weren't forgotten. You were being led, step by step, even when the road felt too dark to see. And now, you've arrived at the place where the light meets the promise. The soil is ready. The season is right. And the miracle is prepared to bloom. Don't underestimate what God can do in an instant. He doesn't need a year to restore what was taken. He doesn't need a decade to bless what was broken. He doesn't need anyone's approval to favor you. He needs only your heart to believe, even if it's trembling. He needs only your surrender, even if it's quiet. He needs only your yes, even if it's weak. Because His strength is made perfect in your weakness, and His glory shines brightest in places you thought were hopeless. Stay with me until the end, for this message was sent to bring light into your life. Let this moment become your altar. Not one built with stone, but one built with trust. Let it be the place where you say, God, I still believe. Even after everything, I still believe. And watch how heaven will respond. Watch how doors will open, how peace will return, how the atmosphere around you will shift in ways that make no sense to the natural world. Watch how your name will be brought up in rooms you've never stepped into, in conversations you never expected, all because God's hand is upon you. You are not chasing miracles. You are becoming the dwelling place for one. You are not waiting to be chosen. You were already chosen. You were already seen, already favored, already called. The world may have overlooked you, but heaven never did. And what is meant for you will not pass you by, not now, not ever. This miracle is proof that God finishes what He starts. It is evidence that nothing was wasted, not even your waiting. There is a softness entering your life. A peace that comes without explanation. A comfort that feels like home. You won't need to force anything anymore. What's meant for you will find you gently. The right people. The right answers. The right timing. It will all come without pressure, because you've surrendered the weight and God is lifting what was too heavy for you to carry. This is the divine exchange, your worry for His wisdom, your fear for His faithfulness. What if you could unlock a secret brain wave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. Someone reading this has spent years thinking they were too far gone, too broken, too unnoticed for God to use them. But I say to you with the authority of heaven, He is not done with you. In fact, He is just beginning. What you thought was the ending was just the pause before the promise. What you thought was the silence was heaven listening intently. And now, God is speaking. Now, God is moving. Now, your story is about to turn. Hold this close to your heart. Speak softly to your soul. Say, God is still with me. Because He is. Not because of what you've done, but because of who He is. His love does not waver when you feel weak. His grace does not fade when you fall. His hand does not let go, even when yours feels too tired to hold on. You are still His. You are still chosen. And this miracle is your proof. The miracle isn't in some faraway place. It's happening right where you are. It's in the next breath, the next quiet moment, the next act of trust. Don't skip this moment. Don't let it pass by. Your name is being whispered in places your feet haven't yet reached. Your breakthrough is coming with holy momentum. Let yourself receive it. Let your heart believe it. Type 555 to receive miracles. You've carried burdens that others knew nothing about. You've walked through days that felt so long, you thought they'd never end. You've sat in rooms where joy felt distant, where hope felt too quiet to hold on to. And yet, even in those moments, you never stopped believing that somehow, something good would find you again. That belief, even in your brokenness, moved the heart of God. That quiet strength, that sacred faith, that soft yes whispered in the dark, is why you're being lifted now into something sacred. This miracle is not just a single moment, it's a series of divine touches that are about to shape your life. The doors that seemed locked for years will open like they were never shut. The answers you've been crying for will arrive not all at once, but steadily, like gentle rain that softens the ground. The healing you need will begin where you least expect it, within the parts of you that have been quietly waiting to feel alive again. This is not just the fixing of what's been broken. It's the blooming of something completely new. Your name was whispered in the heavens today, not in a crowd, not among many, but alone. Personally. Tenderly. God spoke your name like a parent calls their child, full of love, full of grace, full of a promise that cannot be revoked. You are not unseen. You are not too late. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible in the eyes of God. You are the very one He chose for this miracle. And it will not be delayed any longer. Do not share what God is doing in you too soon. Some things are sacred. Some moments are meant to be protected. What heaven is doing for you now is still growing roots. It needs silence, stillness, and your quiet trust. Not everyone will understand. Not everyone needs to. This miracle is not about proving anything to others. It is about proving to you that God is faithful, that He is near, and that He finishes what He starts in the lives of those who love Him. You've spent so long asking for signs, praying for change, hoping for something to shift. Today, without a loud trumpet, without a shout from the skies, the answer is being delivered. It will come through a phone call, a whisper in your spirit, a moment that seems ordinary but is drenched in divine power. You'll feel it. You'll know it. It will be different from everything before it, not just because of how it arrives, but because of how deeply it will heal you. You don't have to beg God to remember you. He already has. You don't have to fear that you're too flawed to be favored. You've already been marked with grace. This miracle is not a reward for perfection. It is a response to your perseverance, to your quiet faithfulness, to the way you loved, even when you were hurting, to the way you kept choosing light, even when darkness was easier. There is something holy unfolding around you, and it's not something you need to chase. It's something you need to open your heart to. Let go of the timelines. Let go of the pressure. Let go of the fear that if you don't act fast enough, you'll lose it. What's meant for you is held by God, and no one, not even the deepest fear, can take it away from you. What's being released now is bigger than your worry, stronger than your past, and deeper than your pain. Type yes to affirm. Heaven's plans are not based on what you've lost, but on what you're being prepared to carry. You've been shaped by fire, not to burn, but to shine. You've been stretched, not to break, but to grow. Every moment that made you feel forgotten was setting you up to be found by this miracle. You are not just close, you are within reach. You are being touched by something unseen but unstoppable. The hand of God is upon you. Even the parts of your story that felt like endings are about to become the beginning of something beautiful. Your brokenness is not a barrier. It's the soil where the blessing is about to grow. Keep walking. Keep trusting. Keep breathing in the truth that something holy has been released just for you. And when it starts to happen, and it will, do not run from it. Do not question whether you deserve it. Do not hide from the light that wants to shine through your life. This miracle is not only for you. It's also for the ones who've been watching your journey in silence, waiting for proof that God still moves. You are about to become that proof. The miracle that is being formed around you was not built overnight. It was woven together with threads of grace across years of waiting. Every silent tear you cried added to its strength. Every lonely prayer you whispered added to its shape. Every night you chose faith instead of despair gave it wings. And now, the fullness of what you have carried in your heart is being returned to you, not in pieces, not in fragments, but in wholeness. You are about to see why you had to walk through everything you did. It all led to this. Your life is not random. It has been watched, guided, and guarded by heaven with more care than you'll ever fully understand. The times you felt abandoned were actually the times angels stood closest, carrying you through shadows you didn't even know were trying to overtake you. The days that felt longest were the ones where your name was whispered the loudest in heaven. You never walked alone. You were never forgotten. And now, because of that love, because of that divine attention, your miracle has been released. Something is being unlocked over your life. Not through effort or striving, but through surrender and trust. Not by force, but by faith. This is why it feels different. This is why your heart is starting to feel soft again. The tension is beginning to break. The weight is beginning to lift. You've entered into a moment of divine ease, where heaven does the work you could not do on your own. You don't have to beg for it. You only need to receive it. Open your heart like the sky opens to rain, and let it fall gently over you. Type 777 if you walk by faith. What was withheld was only kept until the perfect hour. And that hour is now. Every no you've received was only to protect this yes. Every delay you experienced was so this blessing could come when you were ready. This miracle could not come before now, not because you didn't deserve it, but because it was meant to arrive in a way that healed you, not harmed you. In a way that restored your joy, not just solved your problems. And in a way that reminded you that God never forgot you, not even once. There is a holy hush falling over your life. You may feel it as stillness, as silence, or as a strange peace you can't explain. That's not emptiness. That's God's presence. That's the quiet place where things begin again. That's the moment when the seed finally breaks open underground and new life begins to push through. You're in that moment now. You're being changed, not on the outside first, but on the inside, where it truly matters. And when your heart begins to heal, when your soul begins to rise again, everything around you will begin to shift too. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. The people who doubted you will see you rise. The seasons that broke you will become your testimony. The nights that hollowed you out will become the places where God fills you with glory. You will not stay in this chapter. You are turning the page, and what's coming next is not only better, it's blessed. It's gentle. It's peaceful. It's full of joy that doesn't need to be earned and love that doesn't run out. You are moving from survival to sacred living. Please don't rush this. Don't push past the quiet. Let the miracle grow. Let your soul stretch. Let your heart open wide to what God is pouring out. You do not have to understand it all to receive it. You do not have to be perfect to be favored. You do not have to earn what's already been written for you. This is grace. This is love. This is your miracle. And it's not just coming to you, it's coming through you. You are being blessed to become a blessing. You've longed for a moment like this without even knowing what it would look like. And now, it's here, hidden in the stillness, unfolding like morning light. You will begin to notice things that once felt impossible now feeling within reach. You will notice how peace begins to return to your thoughts, how joy gently knocks on your heart again, how the heaviness you carried begins to feel lighter. That's not coincidence. That's your miracle coming alive. You don't need anyone's permission to believe in what God is doing for you. You don't need the world to validate it. You only need to know, deep in your spirit, that what is happening is real. And it is. The shift is happening now. The release is happening now. The miracle is happening now. You are loved more than you know. You are held more tenderly than you feel. And you are being led more carefully than you can see. Trust the process. Trust the pace. Trust the whisper of heaven that brought you to this moment. You didn't miss it. You're right on time. There are layers of healing that are already beginning within you. You might not even feel them yet. You might still be wrestling with thoughts of doubt, with the weight of tiredness, with the ache of waiting. But something is already different. Something deep inside your spirit is responding to God's presence. That heaviness you've carried for so long is slowly unraveling. That fear that gripped your decisions is starting to lose its power. That confusion that clouded your direction is lifting like morning fog. You are stepping into a place of clarity, of safety, of gentle joy. You may not understand how it will happen. You may still be looking around wondering how things will change. But I want you to know, with all the certainty of heaven, that you are not standing still. You are being shifted. You are being elevated. Not by your own strength, but by divine momentum. The weight that held you down is breaking. The resistance you felt is dissolving. You are stepping into flow. Into grace. Into the kind of peace that doesn't make sense to the world, but makes perfect sense in the arms of God. Type Amen if you trust in God, and share this heart-touching video with 9 loved ones to open the doors of blessings and miracles. The miracle you've been waiting for isn't a reward. It's a restoration. It's a returning. It's a divine embrace that reminds you who you really are, not what life told you, not what people said about you, not what pain tried to convince you of. But what God always knew about you, that you are worthy of love, of joy, of healing, of wholeness. That you were created with purpose. That your story still has chapters filled with beauty and meaning. That you are not finished. You are just beginning again. Type 333 to welcome blessings. This moment is not asking for you to do more. It's asking you to receive more. To let go of what you thought you had to earn. To stop measuring your value by your past. To release the timelines you created from fear. And to trust that God is not late. That what you're receiving now couldn't have come any earlier, because it wouldn't have reached the version of you that's finally ready to hold it. This is your moment of readiness. This is your moment of holy arrival. You don't need to explain this to anyone. You don't need to justify what you're feeling. Some things are too sacred for human understanding. And this miracle, this beautiful, quiet, powerful unfolding, is meant for your heart, your spirit, your peace. Let it be yours. Protect it like a flame in the wind. Nurture it with stillness. Celebrate it without needing permission. It doesn't need to be loud to be real. It doesn't need to be big to be life-changing. And it doesn't need to look like someone else's story to be fully yours. What's beginning now is not a temporary moment of relief. It is the start of a new rhythm. A rhythm where grace carries you. Where you no longer chase what is already running toward you. Where you don't fight to be seen, but simply rest in the knowing that God never took His eyes off you. The pressure is breaking. The striving is ending. And your soul is finally breathing again. Heaven is not asking you to have all the answers. It is simply asking you to stay open. To stay soft. To stay willing to let the light in, even if it's just a little at a time. Because this miracle doesn't demand perfection. It only asks for your heart. And your heart, no matter how tired or bruised or hesitant, is enough. It's more than enough. It's the very place God wants to rest His presence. You are being renewed in places that have been dry for years. You are being softened in places that were hardened by disappointment. You are being strengthened in ways that don't look like strength to the world, but they are holy, they are real, and they are lasting. You are rising. Not with noise or fanfare, but with quiet confidence. With sacred peace. With the kind of joy that can't be stolen. You may still hear voices that tell you this won't last, that it's too late, that you're too broken. But those voices are lies. The truth is already written. You are chosen. You are loved. You are in the middle of something holy. And what God starts, He finishes. You've held on longer than most would have. You stayed when it was easier to walk away. You continued to believe, not because you saw the evidence, but because deep inside, something told you not to let go. That deep inner knowing, that soft unwavering whisper that kept pulling you forward through heartbreak, struggle, and emptiness, that was the voice of God keeping you aligned with His promise. And now that promise is unfolding. Type 1212 if you believe God is guiding you. The seeds you planted through obedience and tears are now pushing through the soil. They were never buried to die. They were planted to grow. And the time for their harvest has come. Not a harvest of just things, but of healing, peace, and joy you forgot how to feel. The kind of harvest that doesn't just touch your life, but transforms it. The kind of change that moves with you, that walks beside you, that reshapes the way you experience everything. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the Money Magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. Do not be afraid if everything around you starts to shift. The ending of a season often feels like everything is being taken away. But it's not loss, it's preparation. God never removes without the intention to restore more beautifully. Whatever He asks you to let go of in this season is only to make room for what your spirit is truly meant to carry. Letting go is not failure. It is trust in action. And this miracle, this gift you've waited for, will only settle where there is room to receive it. This is why you've been called into stillness. This is why your heart has been softened in recent days. This is why you've been feeling things more deeply, remembering pieces of yourself that were quiet for so long. It's all part of the restoration. Heaven isn't just giving you something new, it's returning you to the version of yourself that was always meant to be free. Free from fear. Free from past shame. Free from pretending. Free from believing that joy was only for other people. You are being shown that you are not meant to survive your life, you are meant to live it fully. To love without holding back. To wake up with peace instead of panic. To walk through your days without a weight on your chest. To sit with yourself in silence and feel safe there. This miracle isn't only about changing your outside world. It's about freeing your inner world. And that freedom, once it touches you, begins to ripple into everything and everyone around you. You've cried for change. You've begged for answers. You've waited for things to make sense. And now heaven is responding, not always with explanations, but with undeniable peace. With clarity that settles your heart. With strength that meets you in your weakness. With blessings that feel like fresh air after years of suffocating beneath worry. You don't have to understand it all to know that it's real. You don't need to see it all to trust that it's already started. Your miracle doesn't begin when it arrives in your hands. It began the moment you chose to believe again. Even when your voice trembled. Even when your body was tired. Even when the prayers felt empty. Heaven heard them all. And each one became part of the wave that is now reaching you. Your belief was the doorway. And now the blessing is walking through it. You are not being left out. You are being called in, into a softer way of living. Into a place where your soul can breathe again. Into spaces where love flows freely, not conditionally. Into moments where your worth is not based on what you do, but on who you are. You are not broken beyond repair. You are being reassembled with the hands of heaven, and each piece that felt out of place is now finding its purpose. The people who hurt you did not have the power to cancel God's plans. The pain you went through did not poison your destiny. And the time you feel you lost is not gone, it's being restored in ways you will never fully be able to measure. Everything is being redeemed. Everything is being rewritten. And what's coming next will feel like rest, not survival. Keep your heart soft. Keep your spirit open. Don't rush the process. This is not about earning, performing, or proving. This is about letting God do what only He can do. You are deeply loved. Eternally chosen. And already being carried into something beautiful. Type 888 to open doors of abundance. This blessing is not only going to touch your life. It's going to change your atmosphere. The very energy around you will begin to shift. People will feel peace when they enter your presence. They will not know why, but you will know. It's because heaven has settled over your life like morning dew, soft and full of promise. You are being made into a vessel of divine presence, not by your own doing, but because you allowed yourself to be refined without losing your softness. And now, that softness is your strength. You no longer have to fight your way into anything. The days of pushing, striving, and feeling overlooked are coming to a divine end. You were never meant to force doors open with weary hands. You were meant to walk through the ones that God opens with His love. And that door? It's in front of you now. Not loud. Not gold-trimmed. Not glittering like the world's version of a blessing. But sacred. Quiet. Soaked in peace. It is the doorway to what you've been praying for: healing, stability, joy, freedom, and rest. You don't have to knock. It's already open. All you have to do is walk through with trust. This is why the attacks have felt stronger lately. Why the weight on your chest seemed heavier. Why the doubts became louder in recent weeks. The enemy always stirs right before heaven sends release. The pressure was not your failure. It was your confirmation. When you began to feel like giving up, that was the final resistance before the shift. And now that you've crossed through it, now that you've stood your ground with trembling faith, the reward has been released. Do not second-guess this. Do not shrink yourself back down. This is not a season for hiding. This is a season for blooming. God is not just handing you a moment, He's handing you a mantle. One of peace. One of joy. One of gentleness. You were chosen not because you were loud, not because you were perfect, but because your heart was tender enough to carry something pure. Your humility is the soil where heaven plants its rarest seeds. And as this miracle begins to take shape around you, you will find yourself speaking differently, thinking differently, loving differently. You'll no longer feel the need to explain yourself. You'll no longer need to be understood by those who never truly saw you. You'll no longer feel hungry for approval that was never yours to chase. Because now, you are being fed by the approval of God alone. And that kind of security is unshakable. That kind of love becomes your foundation. This is the beginning of divine rest, not the kind that makes you passive, but the kind that lets you breathe again. You will wake up with purpose. You will move with peace. You will walk with clarity. And the clutter that once filled your heart with noise will slowly fade into the background. You will recognize the difference between what is for you and what is sent to distract you. Your spirit will know. It already knows. You're no longer living by survival instincts. You are living by sacred intuition, and heaven is guiding every step. Let yourself believe this is real. Let yourself step fully into this season without flinching. There is no trap. No trick. No hidden condition. This miracle isn't a gamble, it's a gift. You don't have to hold your breath. You don't have to wait for it to disappear. It's not going anywhere. It's been assigned to you. Protected for you. Timed perfectly for you. And now, it's unfolding in a way that no one can take credit for except God. Type 1010 if you trust in God's timing. There are things falling away from you that you don't even need to chase or fix. Let them fall. What remains is holy. What remains is enough. What remains will grow. Trust the shedding. Trust the silence. Trust the unfamiliar softness in your chest. That's healing. That's the miracle touching your heart before it touches anything else. That's what heaven does, it begins within. You will notice how the things that once triggered your fear no longer hold the same power. You will notice how your reactions become slower, softer, more rooted in love than defense. That's the evidence of the shift. That's the proof that you are no longer who you used to be. And that is a holy thing. This is not the end of your story. It is not even the turning point. It is the unveiling of the real you, the one God saw from the beginning. The one who was always meant to carry light. And now, that light is rising. This isn't just about one answered prayer. This is about all of it. All the things you tried to explain but couldn't. All the heartbreaks you hid from the world while showing them your smile. All the times you cheered for others while your own heart broke quietly in the background. God saw every moment you stayed faithful when your life felt faithless. He saw every time you resisted bitterness and chose compassion. That kind of love does not go unnoticed in heaven. That kind of faith does not go unrewarded. What is happening now is a response to all that. Not a delayed payment, but a divine return that's been prepared with the utmost care. You are not receiving something ordinary. You are receiving something holy. Something that will not slip away in the night. Something that will not turn into loss. Something that is here to stay. Because what comes from heaven carries eternal fingerprints. And this miracle, this blessing, was always meant to find you, not just for a moment, but to rest in your life like light rests on water. There is nothing you need to do to earn this. It's already yours. You don't need to fix your flaws or prove your worth. You are not being tested anymore. You are being embraced. Your miracle isn't waiting on you to be more perfect, it's arriving because of how deeply you've loved even while you were broken. That kind of heart is rare. That kind of faith makes heaven move. This miracle will not ask you to sacrifice your peace to keep it. It will not lead you back into patterns of fear or striving. It will gently heal what you thought would stay wounded forever. It will soften the parts of you that became hard just to survive. And it will remind you, again and again, that God never abandoned you, not even once. You may have felt like you were being punished when doors closed or things fell apart. But none of it was punishment. It was protection. It was God clearing the path for what truly belongs in your life. He didn't let those things remain because they weren't strong enough to hold the future He planned for you. He let them fall away so that when this miracle came, there would be room. And now that the room is made, now that your heart has space to receive, heaven is sending the blessing. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brain wave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn away, the chance may not return. This is your time to step in. Type 1414 to step into divine protection. Let yourself breathe in this moment. Let the stillness settle around you. Let go of the need to figure everything out. You don't need to know how it will all unfold. The miracle will reveal itself piece by piece, and with every step, you'll feel more peace, not less. You'll feel more clarity, not confusion. You'll feel more loved, not abandoned. That is how you'll know it's from God. You'll begin to feel lighter. Not because the problems disappeared, but because you're no longer carrying them alone. You'll feel stronger, not in your own power, but in the quiet knowing that God is guiding every detail. You'll look back one day soon and see how this moment changed everything, not loudly, not dramatically, but beautifully. You'll recognize that it was here, in this very stillness, where the shift began. And when the miracle begins to touch your world in visible ways, don't hide. Don't minimize it. Don't question whether you're worthy of it. You are. You were always worthy. You just didn't always see it. But now you are beginning to understand. And in that understanding, you'll walk differently. Not with pride, but with peace. Not with fear, but with trust. Let people say what they will. Let the world misunderstand if it must. You were not called to be understood. You were called to be faithful. And you have been. Even when it was quiet. Even when you were afraid. Even when it didn't make sense. That kind of faith is powerful. That kind of heart moves angels. And now, that kind of faith is being answered in the most tender and personal way. Don't rush past this. Don't scroll past this. Stay here. Let this word settle deep into your spirit. This isn't just encouragement. It's a divine message. One that was written for you. One that came through time and spirit to find you here and now. One that is changing everything. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. You are not too far behind. You are exactly where you need to be. There is no pressure here. There is no rush. There is only love, flowing toward you with steady, quiet strength. This is the part of the journey where things begin to unfold gently. You will not have to chase this miracle. You will not have to earn it. What is coming to you has already been signed in heaven with your name. It was not delayed because you were unworthy. It was delayed because God was preparing your heart to receive it fully, without fear, without resistance, without guilt. And now that your heart has softened, now that you are open even in your tiredness, the blessing has found its way to you. You will begin to notice how things align without your effort. How the conversations you need will find you. How the opportunities will appear like soft light through parted clouds. You will begin to feel held, not in a way that demands explanation, but in a way that wraps around you like warmth after a cold season. That's not your imagination. That's your miracle making itself known. Type 666 if you believe in God's grace. There are no mistakes in what is happening now. The pain you walked through was not meaningless. The tears you wept alone were not unseen. They watered the very ground that is now beginning to bloom. This is not coincidence. This is divine timing. And your soul knew it before your mind ever could. That's why you didn't give up. That's why something inside you kept going when everything else said stop. The spirit within you recognized the nearness of God's hand, even in the silence. You have reached the turning point. Not by striving, but by surrender. Not by running, but by staying. And heaven has honored your stillness. Heaven has honored your obedience. Now you are about to see the beauty of what God does when you lay everything down and trust that He will pick up what you can no longer carry. He is not only picking it up, He is replacing it with something better, something lighter, something so deeply personal that only you will understand the fullness of it. What is being restored is not only what was taken from you. It is also what you didn't even know you needed. A deeper kind of peace. A clarity that silences the fear. A joy that isn't temporary, but steady through all things.